In a perfect world, every state would have the exact same home buying process, but that's not really the case. In this video, I want to go over the things you really should know when you're buying a house in Colorado Springs. What's up guys, my name is Ben, and in this channel we make videos about what it's like to live and move to Colorado Springs. In the last couple of years I've helped over 50 families move across the country, so if you are getting any value out of these videos, we'd love to hear from you. Go ahead and give me a call or a text. So today I really wanted to go over some of the specifics of the home buying process within Colorado Springs. And a lot of these are Colorado specific, not necessarily Colorado Springs specific, but some of them are specific to the Colorado Springs Metro. If you're thinking about buying a house in the area, I really want you to be as informed as possible. That way you're not being taken off guard with anything that comes your way. So the first thing you really need to know, and this one I feel like is not very talked about, but it's the fact that the Colorado Association of Realtors has selected a official software for real estate transactions that looks like it's straight out of the early 90s. And honestly, kind of looks like you're about to get scammed. It like reminds me of like one of those scam emails you get where it's like a Nigerian prince is trying to invite you over to visit him and his pet tiger or something. It like legitimately is super dated, and so when you get a document from a realtor to sign, it's gonna look really dated. Just so you know, it's not a scam, it just is the software itself. It looks really dated. And I'm sure there's a lot of realtors who have known nothing else aside from this, and they're probably used to it and don't even think about it. But for me, having kind of been around and seeing different ways of doing things, it's pretty dated, and really want you guys to know it's definitely not a scam. Another thing you should really know about Colorado Springs specifically when you're looking to buy a house is there are a lot of options to purchase a house using an assumable mortgage. So an assumable mortgage is essentially when you assume the seller's pre-existing mortgage. And this is beneficial because just a couple years ago, as you're probably aware, the rates were lower. And so you can assume a lower rate and just pay the difference between that mortgage cost and the sales price. This is common in Colorado Springs because in order for the loan to be assumable, it either has to be a VA, an FHA, or a USDA loan. So because Colorado Springs is such a big military hub, there's a lot of people who are maybe being restationed somewhere else and they're selling their house, and you have the option to assume it because they purchased it with a VA loan. So this is the ideal situation. If you have sold a house and are moving to Colorado Springs, have a little bit of cash to put down to cover that gap between the sales price and that mortgage amount, and you're looking to get a lower rate. So the one caveat to this is, although there are quite a few of these, it's not like every property is like this, meaning you are going to have less to choose from than just the market as a whole. But if you are really wanting a good rate, you have this option, and really want to make sure you know this. So another thing you should really know is related to inspections, and that's the fact that Colorado does not require inspectors to be licensed. So say for some reason you don't give me a call and you don't want to work with me, and you're working with another realtor, and for some reason you're the one who is selecting an inspector and booking it. When you're looking online, you're going to see a lot of inspectors, but a lot of them aren't going to be licensed, and it's important to have a licensed inspector so that you know for sure that they're going to do a good job. So yeah, Colorado Springs is like one of the 14 states that doesn't require inspectors to be licensed. So make sure when you're getting an inspection, the inspector is licensed. Also, something related to inspections I wanted to also note for anyone who's moving from the Florida region or from like the coastal part of Texas, one of the pros to purchasing a house in Colorado Springs is the fact that you're not going to need a 4-point inspection. So for anyone who's not aware, a 4-point inspection is essentially like a condensed version of the inspection report to then give to insurance to verify that the house is insurable. And this is just one extra step in these areas that can be a little bit frustrating. So it's nice in Colorado Springs, you don't have to worry about that. But one thing you do have to know is that in Colorado, we are going to have higher levels of radon. So radon is essentially a odorless, tasteless gas that's produced when like uranium and radium breaks down in the soil and is emitted. And this is pretty standard for any like more rocky northern state. So like if you're from the southern states, you're probably not going to be aware of this. If you're kind of further up in the north, you're probably aware already. And it's not a huge deal, but you do need to get an inspection to make sure that the levels of radon are within a safe range. And this is usually going to be a slight add-on to the inspection cost, so just be aware you are going to pay probably around $175 extra for this radon test. And then kind of sticking along the lines of inspections, another really important thing to get here in Colorado, and this one is kind of nationwide, but just want to drive at home, is a sewer scope. So with the sewer scope, they essentially run a camera line down your sewer line out to the main cleanout to verify that there's no obstructions or branches or cuts in the line. And I've heard a lot of horror stories of people who either didn't get this done or had issues later on where they had something obstructing the line and they had to get it recoated or something, and it's like a $20,000 fix. So highly recommend paying a little bit extra and getting a sewer scope, just so you can make sure that you're not going to have to pay any extra to replace any line. And this is really important for any older house especially. It can be beneficial for newer houses too, but if you are looking for a house, especially if it's historical, recommend you get this. And the last major thing I really wanted to touch on is just the fact that Colorado Springs specifically has a lot of options for down payment assistance programs. So there's a specific one called the Turnkey Plus Down Payment Assistance Program that will essentially loan you up to 5% of the purchase price for a down payment. And this is forgivable over the span of the loan. So essentially it's like, I think 50% is forgivable after you've lived in the house for 5 years, and then the other 50% is forgivable after the full 30 years or whenever the loan term is for. So essentially about 50% of the loan is forgivable because not many people actually stay in their house for 30 years. And it works in conjunction with pretty much any type of loan, whether it's conventional or VA or FHA. So this is a huge way if you maybe don't have a big down payment, but you want to get into a house, maybe you have decent income and good credit and you want to purchase. This gives you the option to be able to do that, which a lot of other states usually have some sort of program, but this is like one of the best I've seen. And there are some criteria in order to qualify for this, so I'll go ahead and link the website in the description so you can kind of read up on that if you're interested, but really want you to know that there are options to kind of help you with that down payment. So that kind of does it for the things that you should really know when you're looking to buy a house in Colorado Springs. If you're currently looking for a house, go ahead and give me a call. And as always, if you've made it this far in the video, go ahead and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.